Hi, in this video on my TXT Discovery robot and controller, I focus on improving the code, and I got some advice by the developer of the FT RoboPy, which I use for running Python on the controller, and he gave me some advices, so I'm going to follow up some of them. And the first advice is that I replace this IP address by the local host, which means I have to change this address into this one. Not entirely correct, because the local host is 1. Another very important change is that starting the camera is intended not to start multiple times during the run of the program, but only once. So this means that I have to relocate these 2 lines, and I will relocate them here. This line, stop camera line, will be replaced as well to the end of the program. So going up, and then going here and say this is 1. So the next relocation actually, which is here. And of course we just have to test if this is working fine. So far it's alright. Then one of the things is the data sync. But it will suffice, I think. So with these rather important 3 fixes, I will test the robot and see what difference it makes for the pictures, because that is one very big problem. So let me clear this. Of course, this is the start, and then let's see what happens. So with the first change in code concerning the camera, let's start it, see how it runs, and if the data sync really has a positive effect, and then see how the images work out. That is one, although it doesn't stop at all. It has a slight turn to the left. And let's reposition the camera. There it goes again. There's no stopping at all, surprisingly. But for now I'm more interested into in the images taken. So there should be now 3 images taken, and let's see what those are. So with 3 images taken, oh, there are only 2 images taken, but let's hope they are different from each other. This is one, right at the start. And this one should clearly be different. Which is, so that is indeed a big improvement. And with this improvement in place, I can add some more improvements to the program. So let's see how those work out. And one of the advices is to write everything that is in here, in this line, immediately in here. So I guess I will do that. And in order to reduce the number of in the passwords because of the secure copy, which is here, there's an advice to use RSA key generation. So let me see how that works out. Other improvements to the code are the addition of a very small sleeping time to allow interaction between the TXT and Python, which means that I have to add a very small sleeping time here. So let's save that right away. And also replacement of set speed 0 to stop or by stop. Which goes for this one as well, of course. Let's save it, and then of course because it's going to be the motors, a sync data, and which means that this one has to be copied as well. And just like I did here, I have to put it here as well. And then something I thought, because you can set the speed, but if you don't set the distance, nothing much will happen. So I yank and I paste, and here I change it into distance, where I change 1500. So, and this I will have to repeat a number of times, and then I can test everything once again, see if that gets better. To see whether any of the code changes have any effect, let's run the code again. And I get an error for broken pipe. So that has to be investigated. It looks like that was just an unknown or unidentified error, so let's run again. It takes a while, unfortunately. It says camera is connected, but there's nothing happening, so let's interrupt and start again. And with experiments you never know how things go. So now I pressed Ctrl C, but nothing is happening yet. Which is the downside of experiments of this nature. Let's see if we can interrupt things. And start again. And now it runs, stops, and the reason is hopefully that there is some contact, although I do not see any contact set. So let's try again. Program starting. It's copying the pictures as expected, but there's no movement at all. So this is quite curious. Why does this happen? Let's remove things a little bit. And restart the program. Now it does stop again. However, let's see if anything changes. Nothing happens. So I am not sure if this is because the actual contact is set to 1. Actually, yes, it is. Contact is set to 1. So that is why it ends. And this is immediately one of the things that is curious. Things are not always going well. You forget how things should go, and then you're surprised when things go as they should. So let's take a look at the screen again. So when I run the code, you can actually see it's taken a distance which is larger than 10 centimeters. However, it runs into the contact, which is here 0, and then it stops indeed. It copies another image. So right now the program is not done, but I do interrupt it, and then I will look for images 10 and 0. So let's see how this works out. This is 10. Yes, and I can explain this picture because it is it has a curve which should not be there in the first place because I have synced the motors. But now it is looking at the left side of the battery pack, so it doesn't see anything but what it should see in this position, which is quite curious. So I think the program is starting to run okay. I'm just not used to it running okay. Anyway, I think this has been a quite nice experience, and let's see for another time whatever may bring that, or that may bring. So for now, thank you for watching, and to be continued.